Grace to you and peace from the one who was, who is, and who is to come. Amen. Doesn't the parable of the talents give you nightmares? She asked. Well, why do you say that? I responded. Well, it just makes me wonder if I'm using all of my talents or if I'm just burying them, she said. And that gives you nightmares? It gives me nightmares because I don't know where to start with my talents, she said. I don't know what they are. And since I don't know what they are, does that mean that I'm burying them? But you're good at your job. You've made a life for yourself. You have what seems like a happy home life. What's missing? I asked. I just can't nail it down, she said. I just have this suspicion that I'm living according to someone else's expectations. I just feel like the life I'm living has been prescribed to me, rather than allowing the journey to unfold on its own, and allowing my gifts and my skills, my talents and my passions to lead me in certain directions. I just don't want to wake up one day and realize that my life could have been different, that I could have had a deeper engagement with myself and contributed to the world in more unique and personal ways. Because right now, it feels like I'm on a path that is leading me farther and farther and farther away from myself. That's why the parable of the talents gives me nightmares. I could see where she was coming from. She asked questions that many people were asking, but they're really good questions. They push against the grain, because I think in this world we are discouraged from really knowing ourselves, because conformity is rewarded. A common narrative is encouraged. This parable sounds like a parable of judgment, and to a certain extent, it is. She was using the parable to judge herself and to judge her life. But it's a judgment that is helping her examine her life and the best way she could live it. But she needed to get to know herself better. And the journey into the self can be a frightening experience. You might surprise yourself by what you find. What I think the end of this parable means is that being thrown into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, means waking up one day and realizing that you didn't use the talents, the skills, the passions that God has given you to contribute meaningfully in this world. The end of the parable, this weeping and gnashing of teeth, that's remembering the days that were lost to tedium, the intimate moments that were just given away to times that you can't even remember, the realization that you followed a career path that had nothing to do with what you're good at or even interested in, but paid a lot of money, or that your life choices were based on fear rather than a movement toward meaning and abundance. This COVID time has made many people question their lives and what they want their lives to look like. Like the woman I was talking to at the beginning, people are starting to wake up to the fact that their lives can be different, and that God has given each one of us special, unique gifts, skills, and talents and passions, all to be deployed for the good of others and meaning to themselves. I think this COVID time has shown us the difference between needs and wants, and now the needs seem so shallow against the wants that once looked so compelling. And the parable of the talents is about pushing away fear. It's about not giving into the temptation to take the safe, easy way through life. The parable of the talents encourages us to stop making decisions based on fear, because making decisions based on fear limits you and blinds you to possibility. Making decisions based on fear doesn't recognize the strengths and the talents that you have. It diminishes you, both to yourself and to how you contribute to the world. Making decisions based on fear makes you retreat from yourself and retreat from the world. When you are afraid, you are in self-protection mode, which inhibits real creativity. Moving in the world with faith and trust takes risk. But that's also how to discover what the life God is giving you looks like. And this isn't about becoming rich or famous or anything silly like that, the fabulous life we see on TV. In fact, I think that's the narrative this parable is trying to move us away from. Because I don't think people want to be rich and famous as much as we tell people that this is the goal. I think media pushes a self-perpetuating narrative that keeps people from growing into themselves because people are constantly being told that they are not enough. People are constantly being told that something in their life is missing. People are constantly being told that a good life ends with adulation and money in the bank. But oddly enough, I think the parable of the talents challenges all that the media would portray. Enough, even though the parable talks about worth in monetary terms, someone taking actions and moving toward a smaller but more meaningful and authentic life would double the value that person brings to themselves and the world around them. The parable of the talents is about growing more fully, completely, powerfully, authentically, and joyfully into who God created you to be. And then the nightmares will stop, and you will hear the words of the Master. Enter into joy. And may this be so among us.